to vote on the bailout money, but the vote would be moot because the law requires action by both chambers to block the funds. The House is now focused on an $825 billion package of tax cuts and spending directed at President-elect Obama's goal of saving or creating more than 3 million jobs. Here with the status of that plan is Democratic Representative Paul Hodes of New Hampshire, a member of the Oversight and Government Reform Committee, and Republican Representative Darrell of California, the ranking member of the committee. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you so much. I appreciate you joining us.
Good morning, Alexis.
Good morning.
I'm sorry, Congressman Issa, I apologize. We did the wrong introduction there, so I apologize for that. All right, Congressman, I said the Senate voted 52-42 to defeat the resolution. Now, the fact of the matter is the funds are going to get released. So does the battle change? Does the question of the use of the funds change?
No, I don't think it does. The funds were misused the first time. They were never used with any consistency to the original intent or asked by the administration. Now the incoming administration has demanded these funds be available on their arrival, and there's no likelihood that they'll use them any differently other than a piggy bank. You know, the people of America thought that they were going to be the lender of last resort. They ended up being the greater fool in most of these acquisitions because we paid more than market value and we get nothing in return, including the Merrill Lynch deal.
All right, so Congressman, I say, given that, you know, what is it that you need to hear from President-elect Obama? Because as I understand it, there were a list of assurances that he gave you guys in addition to what Lawrence Summers put together in a pretty thorough note about what they were willing to change with this second half of the funds. Did they change enough, or is that still a work in progress?
I think that what they've done is clearly added to what they're willing to do with the funds. They certainly haven't eliminated anything that's already been done, nor has President-elect Obama signed on to any kind of an independent commission like we've proposed, something like the 9/11 commissions, to where there would be legitimate TARP oversight by nonpartisan appointed officials who have the expertise to see through the fog of the present spending spree.
You know, Congressman Hodes, when you look now at the announcement this morning about Bank of America, this increased TARP funds, the fact that we are now backstopping all of these assets, you know, Congressman Issa has a point here. Maybe nonpartisan oversight is essential because the government now is in multiple businesses where we need to have a stake as shareholders as the American people.
Well, absolutely. What we're seeing is really we have a clash of two cultures. We've got private enterprise on the one hand, and we've got government on the other, where the taxpayers of America are expecting that their money is going to be used wisely and well by their representatives to help shore up private enterprise. It's absolutely unprecedented. And as we heard from the previous program, what private enterprise wants to do with the money may not be what the taxpayers expect. The taxpayers expected that the TARP money would be used to help ease credit, to help make sure that we could get auto loans, school loans, and help with the foreclosure crisis. As far as I can tell, the Treasury has resisted doing anything about helping the foreclosure crisis, which is really at the root of a lot of our problems.
Right.
And there's been no transparency and no accountability. And I, for one, voted twice against the bailout, not because I didn't think something needed to be done, but I was concerned that exactly what has happened would happen. We've had no transparency, no accountability, and for my money, we've got to have that before any more money is spent.
All right, I want to ask you both a question, because now that the Senate has in essence approved this or prevented this repeal of the use of the funds, I imagine some of the dialogue is going to shift to President-elect Obama's stimulus package. And what we're now learning is that the infrastructure building, you know, some of the things that we thought were essential to creating jobs and creating reinvestment in this country are much less than we anticipated. Congressman Hodes, how do you react to that? I mean, is this still a big work in progress?
I think it is a work in progress. I mean, we've got approximately $550 billion on the spending side and about $275 billion on the tax cut side. I think that was a political calculation trying to design a buffet that would work on both sides of the aisle. There are many of us in Congress who are concerned that the individual tax cuts are a little more than they ought to be in this package at a time when it is clear that experts tell us that stimulating the economy and job creation with infrastructure investment are key. So there are many of us who are still looking at the various aspects of this. I think it's going to change as it moves through the House.
Okay, Congressman Issa, we only have about 30 seconds here. How do you feel about it as it currently stands, at least the initial blueprint?
Well, it's clearly insufficient on the kind of catch-ups of historic projects, roads, bridges, dredging, even Hurricane Katrina damage. I met with the Corps of Engineers, and they're only being asked for roughly $5 billion a plus-up per year. And, of course, they're the umbrella organization we look at for so many of those programs. They say they could give us $30 billion if they were allowed to do it in a different way per year. But, of course, that's not likely to happen. And even if it did, it isn't the biggest part of the stimulus we need. What we need is individual entrepreneurs taking money out of their bank accounts, putting them into investments, and there's not enough of that in this by any means.
Yeah, that's so true. We're not focusing on the small businesses or the small business owners who are creating a lot of the jobs in this country. Congressman Hose and Congressman Issa, I apologize once again for the very beginning. Forgive me. You know, live television, there's nothing like it.
Not a problem.
All right, gentlemen, wonderful having you. I look forward to speaking to you in the near future. Thanks so much. All right, guys, we'll be right back with much more on Bank of America, Citigroup, what's going on with TARP, and, of course, the miracle on the Hudson River. That's coming up.